Mexico is a country full of history and mysteries. Scientists know this, which is why they dedicate tons of resources to finding and unraveling these mysteries. However, things don't always go the way they want. Here we will show you 10 discoveries in Mexico that terrified the experts. Secret Aztec Temple. Mexico was home to several of the world's lost civilizations, but perhaps the most mysterious of all is that of the Aztecs. Although we know that they existed in history, very little is known about them. However, things changed when scientists discovered a secret Aztec temple that had remained hidden for more than 800 years. The temple surfaced after a strong earthquake revealed its location in 2018. When archaeologists explored the site, they found even stranger things, from statues depicting ancient ritual practices to markings that tell the story of alien creatures that they visited the Earth. Archaeologists believe the temple dates back to 1150 and was built by the ancient Aztecs who lived in central Mexico. Crystal Cave. The following discovery seems taken straight from the pages of a fantasy novel, but the Crystal Cave is very real. In 2000, miners were searching for new deposits of fresh mineral when they came across huge milky white crystals inside a cave located under a mountain in Nica, Mexico. The glass was as big as telephone poles and was shooting in different directions. The surprising thing is that these crystal pillars are more than 500,000 years old. Scientists aren't sure how these wonders came to be, but they conclude that this is how it happened. Magma seeped into the Earth when it formed millions of years ago. Since its discovery, the underground chamber has attracted scientists from around the world, seducing them both with its rare beauty and its scientific mystery. The widest tree in the world. In the depths of the jungle of Mexico, there is another. This time it is not ancient civilizations that leave clues about the past, but Mother Nature. The Tule tree, found inside a closed cemetery in Santa Maria del Tule, is the most robust tree in the world. The tree is not exactly tall, at only 36 meters, but it is the widest ever discovered, at over 12 meters. If you're wondering how wide it would take about 30 people holding hands to surround the tree. A tree isn't usually scary, but this one isn't regular. Tule's spectacular girth earns him a place in the record books. It is a twisted, dubious crust that draws crowds to its ominous presence. Visitors have found twists in its knots resembling human, animal, and even otherworldly faces. Scientists have tried to understand the tree, but so far nothing. At first, they thought the tree came from a fusion of several trees that grew together, but now DNA results have shown that it is just one. Scientists estimate that this one is about 2,500 years old and still going strong. Alien Skull. Nothing scares scientists more than a group of unearthed otherworldly creatures. When a team of archaeologists stumbled upon a group of 25 alien-like skulls in the small town of Ana, closer to Mexico City, they thought they had found evidence that aliens lived among us. The skulls date back to about 1,000 years, with an elongated skull that looks nothing like the typical human skull. The discovery sparked a frenzy among people who believed the skull belonged to aliens who lived among ancient Mexican civilizations centuries ago. However, the skulls did not belong to aliens. According to experts, the skull shows an ancient practice called head tying, which consisted of a cranial deformation that differentiated individuals from the highest social groups in the population. The theory is also supported by the fact that many of the individuals wore expensive decorations such as bracelets, earrings, and pendants. Underwater River. Deep in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, there is something that will always leave you speechless. An underwater phenomenon has left scientists with a blank head. It's underwater. I know what you're thinking, how can there be water underwater? Wouldn't they merge and become a single body of water? Scientists have been asking the same questions ever since they discovered this layer of dense water that flows along with the ocean current. It was revealed as an incredible river 20 meters thick and 96 kilometers long, which is separated from the surrounding waters. And although the phenomenon is not exactly rare, it is the first time that researchers have observed it in tropical waters. Typically, these things occur in frigid areas due to melting and forming ice. Although the site has become a tourist hotspot, scientists say it could mean a drastic change to the ocean floor. Hidden beach. The following is a more or less happy incident, but it continues to baffle scientists. This strip of sand is so secret that it cannot be seen from the sea or reached by land. You would have to swim through a long underwater tunnel from the Pacific Ocean to reach it. From afar, it looks like a tropical paradise, and it is. But Love Beach on the Marietas Islands has a much darker past. Before it became a tourist spot, the area was the scene of several bombing tests by the Mexican government in the 1960s. Several environmentalists protested against the bombings and forced the government to abandon the site. For several years it remained intact and Mother Nature worked its magic on it, turning the area that the bombs had damaged into what is now known as Love Beach. Center of Despair. Speaking of underwater phenomena, here's one that has baffled scientists so much that they've called it the bathtub of despair. With a name like this, you get an idea of what to expect, and this does not disappoint. This is an underwater lake, yes, you heard right, discovered 914 meters below the surface of the Gulf of Mexico. However, unlike most underwater rivers, this lake is extremely dangerous. It is essentially a cesspool of super salty water and dissolved methane that kills any animal unlucky enough to fall into it. The discovery was made in 2015, after a U.S. research vessel collected dead crabs in the toxic pool. However, not all bad news. Scientists have been trying to understand brine pools, as they are called, for years. Observations of this one in particular have yielded information that offers scientists insight into the strange world of aquatic biology and geology. Giant sinking. A giant sinkhole is one of the most horrifying forces of nature to date. Imagine that the Earth decides that the time has come to swallow what is on top. Entire houses can disappear in the blink of an eye. What's worse is that although science has improved, there is still no way for scientists to know for sure what causes sinkholes and how to predict them. Scientists felt helpless when a huge crater opened in a field near Santa Maria Zacatepec in central Mexico in 2021. According to nearby residents, they heard a strange noise and after investigating, they saw a 5-meter hole in the ground. But that's not the strangest thing. While scientists tried to find out the origin of the sinkhole, it continued to expand and a week later, the crater grew to reach 100 meters. Tlaloc mask. It's not every day that scientists come across relics that make them question everything they know about the world, but it's not every day that they come across this terrifying object. What you see here is no ordinary relic. It may seem like a normal mask to you, but for ancient Mexicans it is one of the most powerful objects in the world. It belonged to Tlaloc, a rain god and one of the most revered deities in an ancient civilization. Scientists don't know how masks work, but several have been found during Aztec times. The cult of Tlaloc was extremely important in everything. They believed that Tlaloc was also a god of terrestrial fertility and water. He was widely worshipped as a benevolent giver of life, but he also had a dark side feared for his ability to send hail, thunder, lightning, and destructive water. What would you do if you found a mask of an ancient god lying around? Let us know in the comments.